traveling, the journey. It is in the journey, the joy, not in the destination.
Pressons à bord et nous espérons vous revoir bientôt. Nous souhaitons une très bonne matinée.
We connect with the joy of the traveling more than the expectation of the destination, because the joy is in the travel, not in the destination. When we arrive to the destination, yes, there is a huge, big, massive celebration, but soon after the celebration, the soul says, okay, let's find another travel, another trip to go, right?
Do we ever get to that point where we can just be as in the presence and be loving and joyful? We advance through the lessons and we finally get to that spot where we just are love, we are joy.
The process of so-called awakening, it's a never-ending process. There is always more to be awakened from, and that's why this journey is so much fun. We are right now dwelling between the old dreams and the new dream. So we are in this in-between phase. The old dreams as we know it, which is the inverted matrix, is collapsing. We are going towards a new dream where female and male needs to be really, really dancing organically in celebration. And so we do need to do our work to restore those energies that have been affected by so much contraction. We can do the same again with another partner until we understand that it's our job to fill up our container with love, so that when I say I love you, I say you are free. You're free to be whoever you need to be at any given moment. So there is no condition. That's the meaning of unconditional love, where I am responsible for my own happiness and you are responsible for yours. And then from that joy, we can co-create without dependency, but with the freedom of dancing together because it's fun.
Yeah.
Without that neediness that makes everything so heavy, right?
I can take you to sandwiches.
What else is good?
Well, just look around.
Fish?
And figure out yourself.
Seafood?
Yeah, seafood. We got kind of vegetables. Meat, if you're a meat eater, we have
Lasagna?
lasagna. Yeah, it's part of pasta. We have hundreds of types of pastas.
Do you have pizza with goat cheese? That's my favorite.
Okay, ready? And action.
But I need to see me because so I
that's
don't
right.
know. I know when I move, I don't get go out of the.
Okay.
That's why, because if I move a little bit too much, then no, I know where I am. You know, right?
Marco, can you tell me one of your favorite memories as a child?
One of my favorite what?
Memories as a child.
Moments?
Moments.
One of my favorite moments of a child, when I was a child. Well, there were lots of favorite moments because I remember when I was a little child, I had beautiful time with my grandmother, my grandfather, because my father and my mother were always away working. And so I would spend time with my grandfather, and it was beautiful because he was very sweet, very gentle, very loving, and he has this beautiful deep voice, and he would invent stories, and I would get lost in these stories of all kind of stories. So that was a beautiful moment. That was probably when I was 5 or 6 years old, 7. I had beautiful moment with my mother the first 5-6 years of my life. Particularly, we were kind of inseparable. And I also had a beautiful moment with my father. I love my father dearly. I love to be in nature, and I was very excited when I would see my little friends, you know, children like me. I would be so excited just to be in their presence and be able to play, mostly with a ball, you know. At the time, the life was quite simple for a child. You play either using your imagination or with the ball or with the everything that was rounded would work. But also we had those little bicycle for kids. How do you call them?
Tricycle?
Tricycle, yeah. Tricycle was quite an adventure. I remember I could when I was in the summer. I was in my grandmother's house in North. This is a big house, and so very big for me, but I was very little. And all the house had a little, how do you say, maybe a little sidewalk, very tight, but just enough for the tricycle to go through. And so I would go around the house millions of times, and it was an adventure. I feel I was like driving an automobile, and I had all this imagination, you know. And, simple things like that would make a little kid very happy, you know, or climbing a tree. But most of my happiness was expressing in terms of creativity. So it would be, at the time I used to draw a lot, and I used to also to create, to imagine a lot of different reality, different shapes, just watching on a wall. And see all the wrinkles in the wall. I create already a lot of watching hands walking through the. Yeah, and then of course music. Music was. It would literally take my breath away to have whatever instrument that would make sound. I remember the first instrument I had, it was a little tiny flute. A flute, those flute with the piano kind of keyboard, right? Where you blow and you play with the right hand. and it was a toy, so the sequence of notes were not really in perfect order. Yet I would find way to create melodies or to do something about it, and just to be able to do that already would take me. And I would try to direct the sound with a certain amount of care and love and feelings, you know. And whatever I would play, I would use it as a way to kind of point it out to my environment that this is love, you know. Listen, this is love, you know, because right now you're distracted. Come back to love. And so I would attempt to exude the idea of love through music and through sounds. And as soon as I could do that, immediately a lot of melodies would come through, a lot of ideas would come through. And then I learned that those melody and those music pieces, they would manifest themselves only once. And then they would disappear, they would go back to the high realms. And so I wanted to capture those melodies, and because in the moment when I conceived them, I wasn't with my mind, it was my whole soul. So at the end of it, I had an amazing experience, but I could not really remember the melody that just gave me that kind of feeling and sensation. And so I got to the point where, a little bit older, probably already, I was about 7 or 8 when I started to record them with this like tape recorder. At the time we had tape recorder, you push the button record, and then I would play. And so months after months, year after year, I started to have quite a collection of tapes of all these sounds and melodies, and some were ordinary, some they were extraordinary. Many years later, I went back to my room, and I took all these tapes and I converted them into digital MP3s. And so now in my computer, in my hard drive, I have like hundreds and hundreds of pieces of music that are there, that reflect all my emotions, all my feeling during the time, the childhood time, adolescent time, and a little bit later too. From some of those melodies I end up producing albums, big albums with orchestras, with musicians and all that.
Do you have a favorite piece?
No, I don't have a favorite piece, because it's like asking if you have a favorite child. They are all special to me. There are some that work on certain aspect of my emotions, some on others, and so there are moments I want to listen some. Although I have to be honest, I don't listen too much to my music, because the moment I create it and I produce it and I complete it, then my relationship with that music is, and whatever the role that specific piece of music was playing, it was completed, so I don't need to listen again. Sometimes I do, rarely, but sometimes I listen back to things. And I've been holding this vision to create a musical journey with the idea of joyfully
open the heart of all the people that are involved in such an experience. And so now that finally I've been walking through this physical experience and working within myself in order to be able to be a match to such a vision. And the idea is that we will all be part of an emotional experience. The music will take us, both the musicians and the audience, in rainbows of emotions. So we will give ourselves the full permission to fully feel whatever needs to be felt and needs to be released, so that we can little by little go to the bliss and to the joy of feeling one.
We all have to do the work. It's called shadow work. It's walking down the path and going in circles. We have to face our demons. We have to face the good and the bad and the ugly parts of ourselves. When we're kids, we're always being told, you're bad, you're not smart, you're lazy, you're ungrateful. We get labeled, we start, feeling bad, we don't love ourselves. And so when we break those labels down, we have to build ourselves back up. There's nobody out there that's going to build you back up. If you let the ego pull you back in, okay, I'm not crazy, I'll go ahead and fit into your mold. And you can only do that so much to where you're like, no, that's not me. I'm going to go ahead and call me crazy. That's not me. And so by you stepping away from the mold, you're giving other people the courage to do it as well. I like that you say work on yourself, get to know yourself and rebuild yourself, because that's your true soul you're rebuilding. And yeah, because that's what we say, the journey to the soul. It's a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey to the soul.
Female and male needs to be really, really dancing organically, and the merging of the two energy will make us whole, will make us oneness.
I think we are all coming from sounds and music. We are all music. And therefore, I strongly believe that within our hearts, within each of us, there is a special sound, a special, unique musical notes. We co-create through the exercise of our uniqueness, joy, and imagination. So me and you, we meet, we feel a resonance, we start to dance together in a way that our joy, our imagination, and our uniqueness start to create something, start to move energy. And so the co-creation might become larger or might not, it doesn't matter. It is a dance.
use sounds and music. Until now, I've been using music for the purpose of trigger emotions, to go deeper in our emotions and bring them to the surface, so that we can release those stuck emotions and free ourselves from those heavy emotions.
Marco's music is so profound, and it really, it's almost like the sound of nature just coming through.
This is love, you know. Listen, this is love. Exude the idea of love through music and through sounds.
We are going to be in tune with the water, and the things like the moon and the seasons and nature, things that is helping me to imagine the new earth is keeping in tune with the seasons and the flow and the sounds and the colors and the lights of nature. When we open the heart, that's when our true self or our soul shines. And a lot of things can help you open your heart. Love, joy, forgiveness, serenity, peace, nature. Something about nature that helps you just to open your heart. When you find the beauty around you, you learn to absorb that and to take it in. And something about the feeling of seeing something beautiful, and you absorb it. It's a feeling of joy.
This planet is really, really beautiful, so there is a lot of beauty around us. So if you have the sensibility to capture all those immense range of colors and sounds and smells and lights, it's all a magical wonder.
You're everything that I hope for.
So when I was a child, I was very, very sensitive, and I could see a lot of informations about what we call reality. And often the beauty in front of me would take my breath away. And sometimes I even would have tears of feeling love, feeling joy, particularly towards the human people. I felt so much love for them. I still do. So
you bring to me, it's like a dream, a guiding light that shines in the night, heaven's gift to me.
Once you get through the dark night of the soul and you purify all of the emotions and you keep what's good and what's pure, like love, pure joy, you keep those emotions and you move on to the next stage, and that's the pure stage of being purified. This is when you rise above your broken personality and you can begin to dream and to realize and to recognize your true or your higher self.
So beautiful to me, such joy and happiness.
in my perception of reality, in the way I feel reality. I think we are all coming from sounds and music. We are all music. And therefore, I strongly believe that within our hearts, within each of us, there is a special sound, a special unique musical notes. And so as we connect, we all surrender to the emotion coming forward and allow such special unique sound within each of us to come out in union with all the sounds of our hearts together. And we do feel the love and the oneness, and we feel the beautiful surrender, and we stretch that feeling and that sense of oneness to Mother Earth, and we continue stretching until we feel the love and oneness with everything that exists, including the sun, the stars, galaxies, and the entire multitude of the universes. Now we have created a symphony of the hearts.
I think it was being felt worldwide because I was really having downloads or whatever, or just the knowingness of a lot of the things that you were talking about. And so that's when I really decided to follow your work. Where was this last one?
A few years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I felt it was time for me to create again in terms of music. The musicians of Netherlands were particularly receptive to the project, and so I moved to Netherlands and I spent there about 6 months. Right now I'm in the Switzerland Alps, about to cross them through, getting to Germany, and then from Germany arriving to the beautiful Holland, the Netherlands.
Within each of us, there is a special sound, a special unique musical notes.
Sound healing can help us to release blockages in our core, and once we release those blockages, we can feel grounded again and in tune with our soul's purpose.
We feel the love and the oneness, and we feel the beautiful surrender, and we stretch that feeling and that sense of oneness to Mother Earth, and we continue stretching until we feel the love and oneness with everything that exists.
farsi un R&B a Firenze, farsi una giornata a Firenze, ma fa paura.
Fa paura?
Sì.
Perché?
È troppo
Gelato.
In 2016, I started receiving information. It was sort of streaming into my mind, what you might call downloads. And the information that I was receiving, it felt feminine in nature. It felt like I was maybe channeling my higher self. It was like information that I knew. It was just dawning on me. It was just dawning on me how if each of us just had so much love in our heart, and if we lit up our light bodies and we became like light beings, and if we helped activate each other, we would kind of be like beacons, and we'd all help to light each other up around the world. And I started imagining just the light growing brighter and brighter on Earth and on flickering, and then we just became a star, and we just became like this jewel of a planet with these beautiful sounds and vibrations and tones and colors coming off of Earth, because we all were raising the frequency together. Somehow, some way, I came across Marco through a podcast, and I just resonated with his message and what he was saying. I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I've been getting. And so I started listening to his music, and it was so cleansing and so emotional cleansing to me. I got a hold of him on Facebook, and that's when we talked and we started resonating. We decided, let's co-create together. Let's do something together. And we ended up doing a series of interviews, and that's where we're at here, trying to get this message out. And I told him, one of these days I want to come to Rome and I want to film you and do a documentary. And he said, yeah, sure. So first chance that I could, and I went out there, and sure, we did the exiting the inverted matrix, because 2 years ago, when time of COVID, it was really important, and I know it's taken me a long time, but the documentary part, that's what my heart is calling for. That's what my soul is really trying to do here, and just share with everybody how genuine and how true and how wonderful his music really truly is.
right now it's the delicious moment when all that I have been experiencing in this short earthy moment, and all what I've been experiencing simultaneously in other situations, because we are all multidimensional beings, is the moment where it's all coming together in order to create a pure support, a pure, genuine desire not to change people, but just to create an offering, and then with no expectations, and whoever feel the resonance it's more than welcome to tap into that and receive whatever they choose and allow themselves to receive. Connecting with source and connecting with source and creating and letting go, creating through source and letting go, without any expectations, because it's very important that the expectations are not there, otherwise the ego comes in, and allowing the rest to be perfectly synchronized by resonance and by life itself. The soul has multidimensionality, experience things in a multidimensional way, and so we have different dreams. And when we connect with our imagination, we connect with other versions of our dreams, from which we can gather informations for this dream.
And then when you wake up to this, another world, you have those knowings. That intrigued you over here, how about let's intrigue it here? And so now you're weaving dreams together, and that's what I see.
Whether you're asleep or you're awake, no matter where you tune in, which frequencies you tune in, you are living a dream. At the end of the dream, you're back to source.
We are going towards a new dream where female and male needs to be really, really dancing organically in celebration, in balance with those two energies.
Now let's get back to the divine feminine, divine masculine. You do talk about that, don't you, in your podcasts? I had also heard one of your interviews where you talked about how important at this time divine feminine was, and you had said that it's been a male-dominated world, but now it's time for women.
But definitely, both energy are extremely important right now to be honored and to be heard and to be restored. And the merging of the two energy will make us whole, will make us oneness, will make us oneness. oneness, oneness, oneness. I think is the union, the sacred union that create that oneness that allow to download informations that are really powerful at many levels.
Well, Marco, it's been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you so much.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Well, I made it and got through Italy and headed to my gate. I'll be stopping in Paris for 2 hours and then I will be flying to Detroit and then I will be flying to Vegas.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm no one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did,
To be in paradise, after a while, it's boring. You know, I mean, how long can you stay in a flat beach? You know, with a blue sky. It's beautiful. Yes, for 1 month, 2 months. After a while, you say, hey, should we do something else exciting, right? And so we jump again into another journey.
it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one is for you. And you can tell everybody this is your song. Maybe quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words How wonderful life is while you are in this world. I sat on the roof and kick off the moss. Well, a few of the verses, well, they got me quite cross, but the sounds be quite kind. Why I wrote this song, it's for people like you that keep it turned on. So excuse me for getting, but these things I do, you see I've forgotten if they're green or they're blue. Anyway, the thing is, what I really mean, yours are the sweetest eyes I've never seen. And you can tell everybody this is your song. Maybe quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you are in this world. I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in this world.